Hey guys, we got Shaun. I'm going to do a quick read here before we bring him in. With the best entertainment in the land, great promotions, and affordable tickets, Cleveland Monsters Hockey is the perfect outing for any family. With reoccurring game nights like 1, 2, 3 Fridays, Monster Family Days, Blue Jacket games, and giveaway nights, there's something for everyone at Rocket Arena when the goal horn sounds. Also, it's a bird, it's a plane, it's Superman Night, presented by GE Lighting with the Cleveland Monsters. Celebrate Superman on Tuesday, December 30th at 6:30 p.m. with Monsters Hockey as they take the ice in Clark Kent warm-ups and Superman-inspired game jerseys. When the first 2,500 kids 14 and under get a Superman cape, tickets are on sale now, so fly on over to clevelandmonsters.com.
All right, Shaun. Long time no speak, Shaun. It's been a whole 2
Good.
days.
Happy holidays.
Same
Happy
to you.
holidays,
Happy holidays.
everybody.
Yo, yo, yo.
Yeah, man.
What are you doing?
It's a great time. It's a great time to be alive, especially if you're not a Browns fan.
Oh my God! Hey, Shaun,
Hater.
Shaun was on my podcast. He was gracious enough to do my podcast this week.
I just saw that. It was a good episode.
It's my second most viewed podcast of all time.
Cut that check.
Shout out to Shaun.
Wow.
Still has a shot to get to
Awesome,
number one.
man.
We'll see. It is number one amongst podcasts with a guest. So there you go. But anyway, the reason I bring that up is because we were talking off the air about like weather and you're like you don't care about a white Christmas because you live in warm weather. And so what is your family's like Christmas tradition? Like what's your deal there for that? Like whether it's food or whatever. Is there something you do every year?
So America has evolved and changed, and I got time today, guys. So if y'all not in a rush, I'm not in a rush.
All right.
When I was growing up, America still was a family unit-based country, right? We got together for Christmas, we got together for Thanksgiving, and I'm talking about all of the family that lived within an hour, 2 hour of where the matriarch or patriarch, resided.
Yeah.
And I grew up like that. But now in 25, man, I don't know if there's any families that live in the same town. Like everybody's cross country, other side of the world. So,
Yeah.
My family's in Singapore. Like they all went.
Wow.
To visit my wife's family. She's from there. So I'm here by myself, and it's raining. It's messing up my hair, and I'm extremely upset.
Shaun.
Messing up your hair.
Shaun, that's crazy.
Hey, man.
I didn't even know because, my wife has been to Singapore. She's from the Philippines. She's been to Singapore about 3-4 times. And she always tells me how beautiful and clean the country is and how it's crime.
Amazing.
And so she like, we got to go for the holidays. And I'm like, man, I don't know about that, bro. I don't know. Listen, I got the way my passport's set up. I need to get back into the country. You ain't about to keep me nowhere.
Yeah.
No, I'm playing. But so yeah, that's wild, man. So
you gotta go, G. But Singapore will make you feel like America has not quite caught up to some places in this world.
Wow.
We trail Singapore.
Yeah, the economy is crazy. Like that, it's just.
But don't you
it's
get
clean.
like if you put a piece of gum on the street, you get thrown in jail or
Oh
something?
yeah, you going to jail.
Oh yeah.
That's
It's
a little
clean.
extreme.
It's crime free. It's beautiful. It's affluent. Like it's a whole lot of stuff that America isn't right now. But shout out to America.
I'm glad we here though.
Shout out
Shout out to America,
Yeah.
land of the free, home of the brave.
Land of the free, home of the brave.
All right, Shaun, you said it's a happy holiday season for everybody except for Browns fans. Fans continue. And we were just talking about the fact that the NFL is more than any other sport meant for teams to be near the middle. Like every team has their ups and downs mostly. This year has been crazy with some of the teams that are out and in, and yet almost every year the Browns stink. It's almost impossible to do, but it is.
I can fix the Browns. So y'all got to, get in Mr. Haslam's ear. I know one of the esteemed panelists right there has a key card that gets them in the building on regular basis.
Yeah.
Why don't you swing by the Haslams?
He's not taking my calls these days, but go ahead.
and say, hey, I know a guy.
Yeah.
Because here's how you fix the Browns. The first thing you got to do is remove emotion. And then you have to promise yourself, I'm not going to act on impulse. Because the one thing that the NFL has mastered is true parity. You think Carolina Panthers 2 years ago, now they're competing for a division. Think Jacksonville last year, Jacksonville now.
Yeah.
It doesn't take a whole lot of restructuring to get back to a level where you're operating on compete for division title, make the playoff level.
Hey,
so I think when you're looking at
Sean, sorry to cut you off, but just more examples: the Patriots, the Broncos, and the Bears.
Absolutely. So
yeah.
It's not like the NBA where we gotta sell off all of our assets and get 25 picks in 2030 and be looking forward to 5 years from now. Like, you can do this in especially 2 off seasons, but sometimes 1. And I want to just put this out there in the stratosphere because I know a lot of the attention is going to the quarterback room. There's some single men out there that want to be married. But to be happily married, they got to find the right woman. It's a whole lot of teams in the NFL that want a franchise quarterback. So you can't just assume that because we have a need, there's the special talent to fill said need. Sometimes you have to look at what you have and say, if we get really good around this, what's our ceiling? And if I was to become the GM of the Browns, that would be the first decision I think I would make. I'm not anointing Shador the franchise quarterback. I'm not giving up completely on Deshaun. I'm not in the mindset that Dylan Gabriel can't be a competent backup or third-string guy. But what I am saying is I'm also not going to sit here and say that Mendoza is one of the top 10 quarterbacks in the National Football League or Dante Moore or whoever declares. Like, that's the cloudy picture with this upcoming draft. These guys haven't even announced they're entering the draft yet. But when you look at a Fernando Mendoza, forget about is he better than the quarterbacks you have. When you assign that kind of asset, meaning top 10 pick, top 5 pick to a quarterback, where do you now rank in the NFL?
Right, I get what you're saying. So that's
a big question.
Right, you got to believe if you're going to draft a quarterback that high, you have to believe that eventually he doesn't have to be a top 10 quarterback immediately, but you have to believe that at some point in a couple of years,
he has the traits.
About 3 years.
He's going to be a top 10 quarterback, right? Otherwise, you don't take him.
He has the traits and the characteristics to put us in the elite level of the league when it comes to that position. Otherwise, you're better at taking an elite player at another position and getting better around whoever the quarterback is. I mean, Brock Purdy's not an elite talent, but San Francisco, they surround him with really good players. Christian McCaffrey, George Kittles, Trent Williams. They had a really good receiver room, and Ayuk went crazy. Debo got traded. But when you look at some of these guys, like some of these quarterbacks are just managing the game. And the beautiful thing is, after next year, you're off Deshaun's contract, and the other 2 guys are still on rookie deals. So that'll give you a lot of cap flexibility to go out and fill some of the other holes on the roster.
Yeah.
Let me. I want to ask you this question. When you look at it, I kind of talked about this before, and this is a bigger picture about quarterback play. I go back and I watch and looked at some of the data and the statistics of guys like even Manning, Peyton Manning, his first couple of years. Take a look at Josh Allen, his first couple of years. Right, quarterbacks that wasn't setting the world on fire, but they were given a little bit of time to to grow and figure it out. That time seems to be sped up a lot around the league. You get people, you get a year, you get a couple of games here or there to figure out, because the time seems to be speeding where it's like, okay, I got to figure out what's up with this or how to that. I look at teams that kind of wrap their arms around quarterbacks and invest in them and say, we are all in on. It's almost like the marriage thing. Like if I find a person that I can be married to and we vibing, I'm going to invest everything I got so that person can succeed. How does that play a role in the development of a quarterback if the organization is truly married to what they are?
Well, then they want him to succeed, and they're willing to show grace and have patience. And patience is something that you very rarely get at that position. I mean, there are a lot of top 10 picks in the last 4 years that are backup quarterbacks in the locations outside of where they were drafted. Trey Lance, Zach Wilson come to mind immediately. To your point, I want to bring up Phillip Rivers the other night. Anybody watch that game?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because you brought up Peyton Manning. See, when quarterbacks used to come into the National Football League, they had started 3 years in college. They understood the mechanics of playing the quarterback position. They knew how to lead men. So their learning curve was really just getting acclimated with the speed of the game. This new era of quarterbacks coming into the league are as high profile as we've ever seen, but also as underdeveloped as there's ever been a group in the history of quarterbacks coming into this league, because the systems in college aren't preparing them. They're getting coddled because people are afraid to lose them to the portal or let them or not be their quarterback coach. So these guys need real patience. You pretty much got to break most of them down and get rid of all the bad habits in order to make the foundation solid so they got something they can stand on. If you follow me on Twitter at Real Shaun King, I tweeted something out during that game. Phillip Rivers can't move, can't throw the ball past 30 yards, and he led that offense to multiple scoring drives because he understands how to play the quarterback position. Yeah. Very few of these young guys understand that. So that's why this rush to who's in the next draft class, he had a good year in college, but it was way better than all the other years he's had, or he had 5 good games in college, so we're going to draft him on potential. Those guys aren't going to be the answer 9 out of 10 times. Because the organizations aren't showing grace and patience. Yeah. Well, at least in basketball, they draft you based on what you were in high school, and you're going to get to your second contract regardless. In NFL, it's not necessarily like that. Look at the class of the Caleb Williams class. That's probably the best class so far we've seen in a long time. Drake May looks like the real deal. I don't fully trust Bo Nix, but the best version of Bo Nix, I think, is capable of making a deep run. Jaden Daniels kind of regressed a little bit, but we've seen the talent. Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson, perfect mix. If Caleb gets any other head coach, I think he's on the hot seat, possibly going to lose his job in Chicago. So, that's probably the best group we've seen in a long time. J.J. McCarthy can't stay healthy, so you can't even evaluate him yet. But we haven't seen that kind of group come in a while. So, just to put a bow on what I'm saying, you might be better off with what you got and upgrade the kitchen, put some more stuff in the backyard so it's more fun to entertain, than to go and buy a new house and then realize that house need a whole lot of remodeling and renovations as well.
Shaun, I've been having various forms of that conversation for a couple weeks, just in terms of there's the elite class, right? Burrow, Allen, Mahomes, Lamar. Those names haven't changed for years, and it just feels like no one else has broken through into that level in quite some time. And why? Why is that? And, I was talking to someone who said, the Trevor Lawrence class was a big dud. Trevor's finally starting to emerge. I can't remember all the other names that were in that class. I think it was the 21.
I think that was Trey Lance and Zach Wilson and weren't they all in that class? And Matt Jones. You're right. And Matt Jones, one of those guys, none of those guys really took a leap or really took any leap at all. Trevor finally a little bit this year.
Kenny Pickett too? Or no?
Pickett was by himself.
Okay.
Pickett was with Malik Willis.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So how do you teach a guy how to play quarterback in the NFL?
You stop overdrafting them so you get a chance to teach them. See, the pressure comes from where you're selected. Because that rookie contract, even if you're a mid to late round, 3 years? Mm-hmm. The pressure comes when you're drafted or when you're overdrafted. If Trey Lance would have been drafted in the second round by the Niners and they would have kept Garoppolo and let Trey develop under Garoppolo, then he might still be in San Francisco. But they drafted him, they had Super Bowl expectations. The Jets been looking for a quarterback not as long as the Browns. You guys are in a special category, but for a long time. They drafted Zach Wilson after one good year at BYU during COVID where they played no Power 4 teams and expected him to be the savior.
Yeah.
You got to stop overdrafting these kids because there are unrealistic expectations when you do it. You guys have a great situation because you've got 2 guys that are very affordable and one guy who's kind of on the expiring contract who, to Deshaun's credit, hadn't really ruffled any feathers when he's not playing. So it's not like he's a cancerous, tumor in the building. So I might use this opportunity to try and go get a lot better in some other spots so that whomever the quarterback ends up being has a better chance of sustained success.
So then how do you reconcile that against the conversation we just had that I think, 10 of the 12 quarterbacks in the playoffs right now were first-round picks?
Well, there's always somebody that deserves to be drafted in the first round. The problem is there's just a whole lot more of them that don't. So the dogs are going to be the dogs. Yeah, Joe Burrow was going to be Joe Burrow no matter where he went. Lamar Jackson was going to be Lamar Jackson no matter where he went. I will stand on this till this day. Jameis Winston should be a starting quarterback in the National Football League. He's one of the top 32 ball spinners out there. You guys are starting to believe me, too. Cam Ward, even though Tennessee stinks, Cam Ward has made some of the most amazing high level of difficulty throws I've ever seen this year. That talent is undeniable. So, like, some of these guys deserve to go high in the first round because they have the traits, the characteristics, the attributes, and the talent. But a lot of these guys are overdrafted just because there's always a need, right, for a new thing. Like, you got a perfectly fine vehicle. It gets you from point A to point B, but now I need something more flashy. Guess what? Your insurance go up, your car note go up. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes, man, what you got is good enough, man. You got to get better around it. I'd rather have a Ford in a $2 million house than a $500,000 car and be renting.
Just have you done the work yet? And I know we're early. Have you done the work yet on Mendoza and Moore?
I haven't because they haven't declared yet. Like, here's the thing. What quarterbacks are in this draft that we're sure of?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Who?
That's anybody? Art said he's coming back to school. Mensa from Duke said he's coming back to school. We hadn't heard anything from Ty Simpson. We hadn't heard nothing from Dante Moore. I think Mendoza has another year if he wants to come back, doesn't he? He was only a Cal 2 years, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I don't know. Nowadays, it seems like guys can play for 7-8 years.
Well, they got NIL money, and they can make their money in college now.
Yeah, I don't know.
So that's the thing. We really don't even know what this class looks like, and I don't want to deep dive a bunch of guys that are coming back to school.
Makes sense. Hey, Shaun, I'm curious. Obviously we talk so much about quarterback, but the Browns' defense the last 3 weeks has been lousy after they had been excellent for most of the season. What do you make of how poorly they've played the last 3 games?
Listen, when a team that can defend the run is a team that's locked in, that's ready to play hard-nosed, tough football from start to finish. The Browns are chasing Myles Garrett's sack record.
Yep.
They aren't concerned with playing great defense. They've been abysmal the last couple of weeks. I'm glad you brought it up because nobody wants to talk about it. But that comes from the top down. Like, that's a leadership issue. Like, say what you want about the Pittsburgh Steelers. Tomlin don't ever let them go through below average. Like, they're trying to fire Tomlin, 2-3 weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
That was, look, Mike get in there and Mike get them guys, look, eyes up. Hey, we got a job to do. In spite of all the criticism and ridicule, it might be the narrative outside this building. We know what we got in this building. We're going to go out there. We're going to show us. He's a leader of men. And all of a sudden, Pittsburgh running the football, playing good defense. They're going to get T.J. Watt back. Unfortunately, NFL overreacted with DK Metcalf. But Stefanski, that's his job.
Yeah.
Right? No matter what's going on, his job is, okay, listen, guys, we got a job to do. Those checks hit. So I expect you to earn those checks. Like, it's my biggest issue from the outside in with Stefanski is I don't think he has great leadership capabilities, and I think he coddles his quarterbacks at an all-time high level. Have y'all seen the play calling?
Yeah.
Like, you could have Joe Burrow at quarterback and wouldn't know if he was good or not because everything's a screen. All the balls are behind the line of scrimmage. Like, I said this when I came on a couple weeks ago. You got to get really aggressive in this situation and find out what the quarterback can and can't do. This isn't about winning games. This is about information gathering. Like, when the last time they threw a ball deep over the middle of the field, like, within the confines of the call play? Like, even that first drive, we all went right down the field. That was all play action in the flat, bubble screen here, hitch route here. Like, Kevin, come on, dog. You ain't got nothing to lose. Go in that room and yell YOLO. Say, we about to see what it do this week. Isaiah, IB, come here, baby. Man, we finna route these guys up, man. Have y'all thrown 8 comeback in the last 4 weeks? Like, any outcuts on the out? Like, it is. I'm watching a JV football game. Like, what is going on?
Hey, Shaun, you mentioned DK Metcalf there. I wanted to follow up. Do you think he should not have been suspended at all, or it should have been 1 game, or what?
Here's what I think.
Yeah.
A fan can say a fan can do whatever they want from the seat they purchase. But when you allow fans to get out of the third row and walk down to the edge of the stands, I feel like that's inappropriate. Now, I think DK was wrong, but to suspend him 2 games with the Steelers being in the position they are, I feel like we've seen some more egregious stuff happen this year than that.
Go ahead.
Fan behavior is just – listen, the players can't touch the fans. I get it. We can't have that. But fan behavior is so awful, and I think these teams that make billions and billions of dollars need to have more security at the games. So, like, if you hear the video, like, I don't know what it does. He said there was a racist thing said to him. In the videos I've seen, you don't hear anything. Doesn't mean it wasn't said. But, like, you do know this guy was trying to antagonize DK Metcalf. You can't have that. We got to have security there for these situations.
All this money y'all making, can we get some real security guards?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, the NFL is normally not the issue. Usually it's the NBA. The fans are right on top of the players in the NBA.
It's ridiculous.
NFL, I mean.
God bless. If you look at the video, God bless. This is a little black lady that's kneeling down. She trying to get home for Christmas with her family. She ain't trying to have no conflict. She don't want no confrontation.
No smoke.
Like, man, come on, get some big guys down there, because, like, fans, stay in your seat. Like, it'd been different to me if DK went in the stands and went to do. The dude came out of his row, which I think was the third row, walked down to the edge, leaned over the edge. He got a wig on. So I don't know what the hell was said to make DK swing at it. But DK don't have a history of that kind of behavior. So I'm going to give guys like that the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, I ain't never seen him wild out. I ain't never seen him crash out. It's crazy. It's unfortunate. Let me ask you this. As a guy, a coordinator, former coordinator at a high level in college, we got some problems up front. We also have some problems on the outside. I was watching your podcast, and you said you haven't done the work on some of the receivers, and I thought it was funny that you said you got a different criteria how you judge guys from some of the mainstream guys. So I was like, I got to watch where you get that.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on what's more important in today's football for a young quarterback? Is it I need me a dude that's a bona fide dude up front, or do I need a dog or a dude on the outside that if push come to shove 50-50, I'm looking at him. I got him over there. Which one do you think is in a pecking order? Because the Browns obviously need both of those positions. Which would you rank higher and why?
I would rather do what Chicago has done than be Cincinnati. Because a young quarterback, even if he had T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, like those throws that Burrow makes to those guys, he ain't going to be comfortable doing that. Like, I would rather have DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, Luther Burden, Colston Loveland, Cole Kmet, 2 running backs, the guys Zacchaeus from Washington. Like, I'd rather have a whole bunch of, like, slightly above average guys than have 2 elite guys and then nothing behind it with a young quarterback.
To be fair, Shaun,
Here's my
let me defend the Bengals a little bit, because the Bengals, even Joe Burrow said their offensive line is the best he's had. It got, obviously everybody says their line stinks. It has. It's better now, and they got a good running back. Chase Brown's a good running back, and they got just as good a tight ends as the Bears do. Maybe Love was better in the long run.
You saw how much better the Colts offensive line looked when they got rid of Daniel Jones, who moved all around the pocket, and put Phillip Rivers back there. Pass protections are designed for the quarterback to be in one specific spot.
Right.
There's something called functional mobility that you saw with Phillip Rivers. If I have a little pressure here, I can slide in the pocket, stay on rhythm, get rid of the football. You don't get that with these young guys. They all over the place. Have you seen Baker Mayfield lately? He like a chicken with his head cut off back there. I don't know what happened to Baker. Ever since he got on the microphone and said, they call me immature in Cleveland, but now they say I got swag in Tampa. He's been pure butt cheeks. Like, I'm just saying. Like, you can't trust him. Like,
nope.
Phillip Rivers showed you how to make the pass protection good.
Yep.
Stay your butt in the pocket and get rid of the ball in rhythm. When you have to move in the pocket, it's subtle functional mobility that still allows you to get rid of the football in rhythm on time with great ball location. Like, I would say this, during Shador's tenure, the O-line hadn't been terrible, if we're being honest. I think he has to quicken up his release a little bit. He has an elongated release right now that's a little methodical. It's why he's getting more balls batted at the line of scrimmage than normal. He's got to quicken his release up just a little bit. I think he's got to have an uptick on his tempo on some passes, but that stuff is easily correctable. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't feel like the O-line has been terrible.
I agree with you. What do you call them? The Shador sexuals? What's the term you used?
Prime sexuals.
The prime sexuals will argue that you're crazy and that the offensive line has been terrible.
Well, they're trying to put him in a Pro Bowl, so you can't listen to that group.
That's fair. That's fair.
And I'm,
Have y'all seen the
by
Pro
the way,
Bowl voting?
by the way, we talked about it yesterday. I said he's not going to the Pro Bowl. So we're not doing that. Stop. No,
Sean, happy holidays, Merry Christmas.
doing
Great
that.
to have you on as
Christmas,
always. We'll talk to you soon.
I don't think one guy likes me on the left over there. He don't never talk.
Jason,
I won't
Jason's
bite.
just quiet.
I won't bite.
He's just quiet.
Shoot, give me a call. I'll have a 20-minute conversation with you. I love talking to former quarterbacks.
I just don't
Bull,
shut up,
Hey,
Sean.
Bull.
Yeah.
Hey, Bull, give him my number. I got to make sure when I come to Cleveland, I ain't in no harm. Ain't no harm gonna come to me. I got to know
you're
who my
good.
friends
Hey,
are. who my foes
Sean,
are.
you don't remember this, but you and I spoke on the phone for about 25 minutes after a Thursday night game. Who was the running back that the Browns had that you were tight with, who had a really big game on a Thursday night? Do you remember
Jerome
that?
Ford.
No, it wasn't
Yeah,
Jerome.
Jerome
This was pre-Jerome.
No, it's Dearness Johnson.
It was Dearness. Isn't
Oh,
Dearness your guy?
Dearness.
It's
Yeah,
Dearness
Dearness.
Johnson.
I called you
I'll be
after
downloading
his
that.
big Thursday night game, and we were on the phone for about a half
Shout out
hour
to-
together. And you
Shout out to
remember that now?
Dearness about to get some playoff money. Ain't he backing up in New England?
Oh, is he? I didn't
I
even
thought he
realize
was in
that.
Jacksonville for a while.
He was in Jacksonville last year. I know that, but
Yeah, I think it's in New England.
all right.
Hey, when you come in town, just show you it's all love. When you come in town, we'll all get together and we'll all go out to eat.
Okay.
And we'll all go to the Marble Room, but it's on Jay.
Not Sweet Pork Wilson's?
Well, I mean, we're going to go up top. I
Okay.
mean,
Yeah.
we
Jay's
got,
paying. We're going.
we got the
fancy.
big dog.
If Jay is paying,
yeah, we're going to Marble Room up top.
Hey,
All right, thanks,
real
Sean.
talk, guys. I
Yeah.
think this is my last show of the year.
So
So everybody have a wonderful Christmas, an amazing happy New Year, and go Browns. And when I say go Browns, I mean lose these last two games. Don't mess up this draft.
And that
Don't mess up this draft by doing something strange, okay?
And Sean, I seen you with the Cuban on the other day. I seen you. Santa must have been good with the. He had the Cuban on. I see what you talk about.
Yeah, you know, when the price of gold shot up, you know, I got a couple gold bars and some safe deposit boxes.
yeah, look,
You know, so I sent one to my jeweler a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Try and get my Shador on.
Cigar Shaun King strikes again.
there it is. There it is. Thanks, Sean.
And the blessings, man. Yeah.
All right.
Merry Christmas, Sean.
Yeah, that was good.